Subhasish, welcome. And you need no introduction. You are the founder of DTDC, which has been a very inspiring case study of an Indian business which has been created from scratch by you. But very few people know the person behind the story. And whether you like it or you don't like it, you cannot avoid DTDC because of the nature of business that you have. But today we would like to know a little bit more about you, Subhasish Da. And having known you for a while, you could have been a politician, you could have been a revolutionary, you could have been a leader of an unemployed gang, you could have been a lot of things, and not necessarily chairman of DTDC. Tell us a little bit about your early life and what shaped you.
So good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Prasenjit. My life is practically a roller coaster ride, you can see. So if I remember my early life, I'm the eldest son of a very lower middle class Bengali family, having another two brother and sister, three of us. Father was working in a very West Bengal government in a very humble position. And situation was that my mother, who wanted that as elder son, I quickly get education and be by the side of my father to support the family. That was my mother intention. And what possibly she thought that if I quickly get the graduation or this thing, I could get a job. That was any Bengali parents, lower middle class parents' dream, that somehow or other you can just educate and get educations and get preferably a banking job. Those days, it was a dream of getting a 5,000 rupees salary. Those days, banking people are getting it. So what she did, she was trying for me straight away, or getting the lower KG, upper KG, class 1, class 2, she was trying to get me admitted in Ramakrishna Mission in Rahora, Kharda, which was a very famous institution. And every people over there in that area was knowing that somehow if we can get admission in that school, we will do some better results, and definitely the future is bright. Generally today, class 6, as 3 or 4 years student, they should go to KG nursery 1, but there was no such luxury to my parents. So they were trying me at the age of 4 or 5 to put me in first standard in Ramakrishna Mission. But unfortunately, my brain of those days was not so good. No such coaching in home. Parents could not give me time. Mother was struggling in home with all these things. Father was struggling in his office. Somehow or other, whatever I could learn, but I couldn't get through the test of first standard. Then she told, okay, you read in a home and then we'll try next year. So next year she tried, second standard, though I not studied fast. So again, my 5 years, second standard failed. Then finally, she tried in third standard when I was 6 years old. Today, the 6 years old student go to first standard, but she tried for me third standard, thinking that will be enough. But again, unfortunately, my mother's dream I could not fulfill. I failed again. She went to meet our Maharaj of the college, of the school, and I tried a lot. She, practically fallen on his feet and telling that give my son a chance. 3 years we are trying. At least if you don't, Maharaj told there is no seat. We have fixed number of seats. No problem. He will sit in the ground and study. But my mother's cry, and I still remember those days, how much she was, falling on the feet and crying for me to get admissions. I couldn't. Ultimately, my parents realized that it is impossible. Ultimately, they put me to another school in a very primary school not so, no, not so standard like Ramakrishna Mission, much lower standard. But again, the third standard only at 6 years. But I really could not cope up. But somehow I was getting past 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, somehow 6, 7. But ultimately, when I came to class 9, my parents thought that arts and commerce has no future. So science has to be a future. Science, good marks I can get it, because mathematics, physics, chemistry, but not knowing how I will do it. But then somehow, then they put me to class in the science. I went to the science class, physics, chemistry, mathematics. I still remember I had never had a luxury to buy new books. My job, right from the age of 8 or 9, only job was in the school to find the second-hand books from the other students who passed to the next class. I used to go there and buy the books.
You, at some point, I remember reading in your book, you talk about a very interesting interaction with your chemistry teacher. Was it in school or in college?
I tell you, this is the issue.
Yeah.
Class 9, I went and I really couldn't pass. I failed. At least this time I couldn't pass, even lowest mark, pass mark, but I failed. When I failed, when I came back with the mark sheet to my home, I knowing that I was getting a big beating from my father. They will not consider, they will not possibly, my father will not think that that was too much for me. Class 9 as a 13 years, 14 years, young student, it was impossible without any backup of a teacher. I had no luxury to get a teacher for coaching me. So, but I seen the different reaction from my father. I was expecting that I'll get a beating, but not. My father just kept quiet, and I could hear the night time. My father was scolding my mother. But I told you repeatedly not to put him in class 3 at 6 years old. Let it go for class 1. But you not never listen. You wanted him to quickly get education, and now what happened? I have to manage the school fees again for the same class. From where I'll get this money? My mother, as usual, she was very emotional, and my father was telling me from where I will put again the school fees for the other 2 child and this child for the same class. However, so it went on. I never got beating. I went again to the class 9 with the younger student, but earlier student who came 8 to 9 with them as a failed student. But again, I was a backbencher. So it was a day when a chemistry class, professor of my centenary, Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda Centenary College, those days my school couldn't provide the full-time teacher also for the science, because we are the first batch of science student in my village school.
Right.
So they couldn't afford. So they got the college teacher part-time is to come. My college teacher is to come and teach us. So Professor Rebanto Das was in the class taking the roll call, and I was in the back seat. Behind the chemistry book, inside the chemistry book, I was reading a detective novel. Because I know anyway, I can't understand anything. So I was just passing the time. Teacher called my name 2 times, 3 times, and I was not listening it. All the other 2 younger students are laughing and looking at me. Teacher caught me red-handed and practically took me on my ear in collar, and in front of those students insulted me like anything. He said, "Get out from the class." And he thrown me out of the class. He says, "You don't come to my class again." So I don't know what happened to me that moment. I felt though it was a situation that I know that I can't read or write properly at that time, but I told teacher, somehow that feeling came to me. In order to cover up my insult in front of the other students, I said, "Okay, I'll not come to your class, but you will give me the highest mark.
Now, for a boy who comes from a lower, I won't even call it middle class. It's a fairly economically deprived kind of background, who did not have money to pay for his textbooks, who did not have the luxury of tuitions, who had bad company, and at times who was interested in football, and whose teachers had given up on him. You made a promise to your chemistry teacher that I'm going to come first. And what happened the next year? And it will be very interesting.
Class 9, then I started studying. I told you that I left everything. My complete life at the age of 14 changed. I started, focusing completely on my study, day, night. My parents thought something wrong happened to me or what. They were going to the different people's function. I say, I never go. I will be studying. I will not waste my time. My friends told that why I'm not coming to play football. The clubs are calling me. I say, I know. This is my only thing. I will do it. Focus. I will not leave this focus now. And I studied it. And when the final exams over, result came from the class. You will not believe. I got the highest in the chemistry. The same teacher giving me the highest marks and hugged me and shown me in front of the class. Look at Subhasish. He has been thrown out of the class, not attended the class, standing outside, studied, and he got chemistry highest. And a failed student like me that year got second rank in the class.
I think there are so many lessons in your story, and I think the fact that Subhasish Chakraborty, from a vernacular medium, lower economic background, with no hope, could actually be what you are today, and even the transformation that happened in school itself, and that to any manager who today says that this employee has no hope, he is useless, I think he should definitely look at this recording to understand what is he talking about. And to those managers who sometimes feel that my boss has insulted me in public in front of others, he must remember that chemistry teacher has been actually a catalyst in the transformation of Subhasish Chakraborty. So nobody who is insulting you as a boss is always, the evil person. Sometimes those are opportunities for you to redefine yourself.
I possibly learned that sometimes in life, you need a big slap on your cheek.
What are the twists and turns that brought you to DTDC, from peerless to chemical engineering to DTDC? Yeah. Tell us about
that is the interesting part. I tell you that when I was a college student, somebody told me that, look, there is a company in Bengal rising up that time called Peerless General Insurance and Finance Company.
Right.
He said that, Subhasish, you are so popular in the entire village and you are popular in the college. Why don't you take an agency? This will give you two benefits. If you start agency and sell insurance policy, you will earn first year as an agent 30% commission. And if you can complete certain target, you get a promotion to the field development officer position. More importantly, you will learn how to sell something. And this will give you money. With this money, I thought I can buy those expensive books those days, because those days, no Google, no internet. So from where I will get those books. And when I brought those forms and books to my home, here comes a big problem. As soon as I told my father that along with my study, I will do this, two people influenced my life. One is the Maharaj of Ramakrishna Mission, and who denied my mother the class, and who again given me the shelter. He was the principal. That time he was in school. Now that time when I was in college, he was the principal of the college. Same Maharaj. He is a great leader. And then Bika Roy was another great leader. They have taught me what is called relationship, how to build a relationship without ranks and files, without seeing that he is a big agent or small agent. He is a big student or small student. He's a fast rank or no rank. All those things I learned very young age from those two great leaders. BK Roy told me, Subhasish, everything collapsed in West Bengal, but nothing happened in the outside West Bengal. Will you go to Bangalore? I say, Bangalore? South India? I never crossed the border of Odisha. And I never know the South Indian languages. In our line, there was a problem came in West Bengal. The Ministry of West Bengal, those days, Finance Minister, they brought a banning of Cheat Fund and Finance Act.
Yes.
In 1980. And what happened?
I remember.
All those companies suddenly stopped all work. And my entire effort of 6 years building the business, building such a big team, fallen like a pack of cards in one night. I become back to zero. Back to zero. Nothing happened. College I left, not join any job. 6 years, 74 to 1986 years, I became inspector position in the company, having more than 800 people under my team. Everybody got, and all my money, which I reinvested to the people and to the team, all becomes zero. My entire income becomes zero. I become square one. That is the time, my managing director, BK Roy, the great leader and the visionary, from whom two people influenced my life. One is the Maharaj of Ramakrishna Mission, and who denied my mother the class, and who again given me the shelter. He was the principal. That time he was in school. Now that time when I was in college, he was the principal of the college. Same Maharaj. He is a great leader. And then BK Roy was another great leader. They have taught me what is called relationship. How to build a relationship without ranks and files, without seeing that he is a big agent or small agent. He is a big student or small student. He's a fast rank or no rank. All those things I learned very young age from those two great leaders. BK Roy told me, Subhasish, everything collapsed in West Bengal, but nothing happened in the outside West Bengal. Will you go to Bangalore? I say, Bangalore? South India? I never crossed the border of Odisha. And I never know the South Indian languages. And I don't know anybody there, no friends, no relatives. But he said, as much as I know you, you go anywhere and you will establish something. I came back home. By the time I got married, having a 1-year-old daughter, and then I told my wife that this is an offer I'm getting it. He is asking me to go to Bangalore. What should I do? My wife was also very, I must say she is visionary and she can see her family and children situation. She immediately told, here is no education going on in West Bengal. If you go there, my daughter is now going to be, this. She can get a chance in her life to get education in South India. Then they will learn better English, better study, no interruptions, and their life will change. You go, I will manage everything here. Your parents and everything I will manage. You go and come. I moved to Bangalore first time in 1981. Not knowing anything, stayed in a hotel and started meeting people in bus stand, railway stations, restaurants, building my team again. So it is a long story. I will not go to that. I again built a big team over there within a short time. Within 1986, again 5 years, huge organization I built of more than 11,000 people. Across South and across other part. Again, my income came up. Again, I brought my family along with my daughter back to Bangalore, taken a house, and started staying there for good. But my luck again has betrayed me. Not luck, I think situation. Now Reserve Bank of India bought a law this time, 1986, 87. They bought a law, no more. And by the time I have already a daughter and a son, and in Bangalore, again, my entire thing collapsed after 5 years of effort, 86, 87, I lost it. I lost everything again. And I don't know how to pay the rent, because all money gone, because we used to invest money to the people thinking that it will come.
Yeah.
Next year. That's the way it is growing. Organizing people, supporting them with money. So, but then I not learned on the first time what happened in Bengal, but I not learned and I did the same mistake. But second time also my money gone. Situation was that I have to come back. My father came and said, now that at least we have our own house, you come back. At least do something in Bengal. I told my wife that I will not leave this place. At least I was a science student. No, nothing happens in Bangalore. I will start coaching classes. If nothing happened, I will start coaching classes. I will get admitted in the computer class. I will learn computer and I will give coaching of chemistry, physics, mathematics to the local students and earn money. I wanted to build a factory over there in India or in Bangalore, but I had no money. But apart from whatever money there, I wanted to know how the distribution system works. If I open a factory, if I have a product, I must know how to distribute the product, right?
Yes.
So I took a distribution of rally spray in Bangalore, and I started giving a dealership or something to people at Andhra, people at Bangalore, people at Chennai. But what happened that time, and that is I can give the answer why I came to courier industry. Here lies it, how the fate changes. My unfortunate part was goods were reaching in Bijwara or Vizag or Hyderabad, whatever goods, but receipts were not reaching by post.
So money was not coming in.
So people are misunderstanding me that sometimes people give advance money, but that means they thought I took the money, but not send the goods. They were doubting my integrity. I thought this way my business will never grow because goods are reaching by road, but postal department is not reaching my bill till 7 days also. The post. Right. Then I was checking with everybody, how can I send this? Somebody told me there are some courier companies are there in Bangalore, this place. Why don't you go to a courier company? I said, courier, wo kya hota hai? Well, you go there today and they will deliver things tomorrow. I said, which of the couriers are there? You see, that place you go, there is a Blue Dart courier. That place you go, there is a DHL. That place you go, there is a First Flight. That place you go, there is a Professional. Like that, they told me in that building you have hundreds of couriers. You go there. So I went to first time I know courier and went to a courier, Skypack courier, and given the packet. And very, very interesting. Packet reached. I said, very good. So my business can continue. But interesting part which I liked, if postal department is failing, and if this business or packet can reach so fast, maybe in India, India is opening it up, Narasimha Rao government and all those things, permanent thing, that time, all growing up. Maybe this time, this business can grow. I was thinking like that. So what I used to do, after my day's job, I used to stand in front of Skypack courier office and watch how they work, how the courier boys are coming and going, how the loads are coming and going. So I was watching every evening. One day, I caught hold of one of their sales guy. I said can I talk to you, please? Can I have a coffee with you? Well, why? I'd like to talk something about courier. Okay. So he joined me. During the coffee things, I said, I understood from him this little bit of business. I said, look, if I start a courier company and give you a job, will you work? How much you give me? How much you are getting? I'm getting 1100. Okay, I will give you 1200 rupees. Okay, first 3 months, your job is only to teach me, nothing else. Then 4th month we will operate. That's the way that gentleman taught me what is courier. I was not knowing what is courier. So
it is almost unbelievable today when we have international companies like FedEx who claim that they are the largest airlines in the world in terms of the number, the fleet that they have, the complexity of operations. Many years back when I had met you, you already had some 10,000 sub-franchisees. Now this was a business.
Now it is 13,000.
Now it is 13,000. So now, and this is a business which you understood by standing in front of a company and observing what is happening and taking one person at 1,100 rupees for, let us say, tuition classes and coaching. I think this is wonderful. I think one of the things that has come out again and again, whether it is your chemistry gold medalist or Kolkata University or peerless, or in this instance, is that you have never hesitated to get your hands dirty, roll up your sleeves and jump and do it yourself, as opposed to just managing the show by appointing others. I think you initially have taken a lot of time to master the business. So, Subhasish, I'll come to the last part of this interview where you studied the business, and there are many promoters whose knowledge of the business is far better than many other professionals who joined them subsequently. You built relationships with the franchisees and the distributors. You have spent time with their families. You know them. You go to their marriages, functions, and I have read about all of that you do. At what stage did you realize that this is only one part of the business? You need to have a CRMS. You need to have the right processes within the organization. You need to hire people who are smarter than the founder himself or herself. And therefore, how did that transition happen in DTDC, where from a Subhasish Chakraborty company, it became a brand in the real sense of the term?
So as I told you that with the franchise system, they started giving me interest-free deposit.
Yes.
So naturally, I started getting deposit and building my capital. Okay. One interesting part is what I thought in the franchisee system. Relationship is not give and take, right? When your parents, Prasenjit, given you love, was there any expectation?
No.
Right? No, na? I think relationship become very strong fundamentals when you build something without your, what you get out of it, that your mother will think that no, you will educate and then you will earn money and you will give it to her. That kind of thinking possibly not there. Her thinking was how you become a good person, how become a value-based person, right? This was the expectation, I think, fundamental. I learned the fundamental of relationship from my mother. How a mother or any mother, they build relationship with their children, and they teach how they build relationship with their families, extended families, how the challenges of the relationship they handle it. If you look into your mother or my mother or anybody's mother, you will learn, you observe that, you will learn relationship build up. Fundamental thinking, you need to go to a university to learn it. My mother taught me the fundamentals. Swadeshe pujyate raja, vidyan sarvata pujyate. That means in your own country, Raja, king will be always worshipped. But if he is educated person, Gyani person, knowledgeable person, not only university education, the basic educations, they are Vidyan Sarvata Pujyate, they are worshipped everywhere. Right? So my lesson to them is build your life. Why smoking? Why drinking? Job is over, go back to home, go time pass with the children. I do every day. If any of my employee they stay office late. I say, why? Why you are so late? Your family, your children are waiting for you. For me, he is giving much time in the job is not the indication of that he is an efficient. He is a very, very serious worker. Rather, maybe he is an inefficient worker. That is the reason he required so much of time. We don't need time.
Yeah. In fact, go ahead.
So relationship is that you think for others first.
Absolutely. And I was also trying to understand when you have over a period of time got in professionals, and I know your son is playing a very critical role. He's the CEO of the business.
I am graduate.
Absolutely. So he is better, if not as good as anybody else in professionals. So will these professionals not come back and tell you, why are you investing so much on these relationships? Here are the bottom 5% distributors. Isme chatai karna chahiye, yahan pe cutting karo, isko efficient karo, because they also learn management in their own way, and maybe they are not wrong. So what is the, have you faced those conflict between your philosophy and,
Yes, that is coming in. I always tell them, first of all, you just joined. You have learned something else from outside world. In life, learning is important, but sometimes de-learning is more important. Right? I said, in life, sometimes you have to empty your cup so that somebody can pour a new cup of tea, new tea inside the cup. If you don't empty the cup, anything you put it, it's always overflow. Right? So I said them, first 3 months you observe the dynamics of this company. You watch who are the day dudes, but then why they're existing in the company, what role they are playing, please check it out. I believe right from the office boy to the delivery staff, each of them, based on their quality, based on their salary, they are contributing. But if instead of recognizing the contribution, you start recognizing the non-contribution, that means you started from a wrong, completely different thing. If you really look into a sub, and if there's a deficiency, which every one of us has deficiency, you can assist them, you can mentor them, you can watch them. Taking a job out is this. COVID happened. My 11,000 strong employee, and that side from franchisee, 52,000 people in their family. Not a single employee has been asked to go. Not a single rupee salary has been deducted. Because I know whatever happened in this company, I am only a starting point, but everything happened in this company because of them. Because of them, which is a delivery boy to an I am graduate, everybody contributing to the best of their ability, best of their opportunity, and best of their circumstances.
I think this has been an amazing interaction. If I were to summarize some of my learning basis, what you have said now and my interactions with you even earlier, I think there are 2-3 things that I take away. I think the first is that your life really tells us that there is no such thing as somebody who does not have potential. If that was the case, Subhasish Chakraborty has no business to be sitting here and doing a webinar, because he was written off right from class 1, 2, 3, 4 onwards. And therefore, that is the first thing, that you can make transformation happen. And this biggest transformation is what happens inside a person's mind, and the ability of the situation, the boss, the leader to do that. And you talked about the peerless story. This was such an inspiring story, because everybody knows about Mr. Roy and what he did to so many lives. You talked about the fact that how the same belief you are carrying forward for your people. It is possible somebody has the potential to be the CEO and somebody has the potential to be the office boy, but they both have potential, and therefore you are not assessing one for the other's job. You also told us why lack of resources is never an excuse. In fact, it is the driver of innovation and driver of success that you your entire story of right from school, college, SFI, Nexelites, it also tells us that if you want to move from one level to another, the company of right people and leaving the company of wrong people. I know in your book, you also talked about how some of the wrong people had to leave so that you could keep the right people surrounded, by right people. You also said something I remember, there is no such thing as monotony if you have a purpose and if you love your job. You said if that was the case, some people complain about monotony, then there will be no Sachin Tendulkar or Lata Mangeshkar, because they do the same thing again and again and again. And not knowing the industry is not a drawback, it can be an advantage. I also want to take away one thing that you said, that you told me once, that show me someone living a mediocre life and I'll show you his mediocre performance at work. So you live your life, you go, you travel, but wherever your passion takes you, you also try and combine it with an office visit or a meeting, so that you combine multiple purpose. The organization is the university. And I think if I were to sum up, I would just sum up by saying that gone are the days when you can look at people as resources to achieve the potential of the organization. Today, you have to look at the organization as a resource to achieve the potential of people.
Yeah.
Those of you who are not aware of Subhashish's personal habits, even today, he makes it a point to walk. He used to at one time walk 10 kilometers. Now he does pranayam and yoga and quite a few other things. His dream is to actually run when he has the golden jubilee of DTDC. I don't know which year will be the jubilee celebrations.
Another 16, 17, 8 years.
Yes. So at that age, he wants to run with the mashal, with the flame to the stadium, and we'll be there to cheer you and your colleagues. Thank you so much.